everybody! Hi! My name is Zola Nene. I am a chef and a food stylist and a cookbook author and a TV personality. It is my absolute pleasure to be with you today to celebrate Starfish Great Hearts Foundation. I am thrilled to be cooking with you today, and I'm very excited to share a simple and delicious recipe, which is what I do best. I am very excited to be part of this event today, and I just want to, before we start cooking, encourage everybody to please go and host your very own dinner of hope, so that you could contribute and add to this amazing foundation, because the work that they do is incredible. So without further ado, let's get into what we're cooking today. I am going to be making a curried mussel and coconut broth. So delicious. You could eat it as a soup, you could add some pasta to it or some noodles to it, or just mop up the juices with crusty bread. You could also change it up. If you're not a fan of mussels, you could add prawns or fish or chicken or pork, or just make it a veggie mushroom broth if you like. So there's many ways that you can adapt this and make it suitable for yourself. So let's get to the cooking. Let me start off by letting you know what ingredients you need to make this recipe. You'll need a chopped onion, some chopped garlic, some grated ginger, and some chili. I am using a whole chili that I've cut in half just so it's not too spicy. Then I've also got my own brand of Zola's Feast fragrant curry powder, very aromatic, available on my website. Then you'll also need some chopped coriander. I've got the stalks and the leaves here. You'll also need a tin of coconut milk, a lemon, and then I am using cooked mussels, but you can use raw mussels as well. Then of course you'll need some salt and pepper for seasoning. Right, now that we are acquainted with all the ingredients, let's get cooking. So here I've got a pot on about medium heat. You don't want it too hot at this stage because you want to make sure you cook everything slowly. Then in with a little bit of olive oil. You could use coconut oil if you have it. You could use vegetable oil, whatever oil you have handy. Then here we're going in with the aromatics first. So in with our onion. Go, and then in with some chopped garlic and grated ginger, and then I'm adding chilies here. This is all going to be dependent, or how much you add is going to be dependent on how spicy you like it. I tasted the end of this chili and it was pretty spicy, so I decided to keep them whole, but I do want a bit of spice, so I've left the seeds in there. If you want it much milder, you can add less chili, and you can also remove the seeds as well if you want it a little bit more mild for your taste. So that's completely up to you. And this is the thing about recipes. Whenever I share recipes, they literally are just a guideline for you to sort of see what works together, and then you can tweak it and change it up however you prefer, because after all, it is your food, so you should have it exactly the way you like it. So just saute these onions over medium heat. You could also substitute spring onions or leeks depending on what you have as well. You could also leave the onions out completely and just go straight in with the garlic and just the ginger. That will work fine too. So I love to make a recipe adaptable so that you can change it up to your preference. Okay, so these are just losing their crunchiness and just softening up a little bit. Just turn the heat down a smidge. And I love the smell, or the combination even, of garlic and ginger together. My family loves ginger. It's also really good for you. So yeah, you can go wild with the ginger, wild with the garlic, and a bit of spice is not a bad thing. So I like a bit of chili in this. Right, to this I'm going to now add some curry powder. So this is my own blend of curry powder. It's a very mild curry powder, so I'm going to add 2 generous teaspoons of it. Use your favorite curry powder, but if you do want to purchase my curry powder, you can on my website on www.zolanene.com. Yeah, give it a try. I quite like it. My family quite likes it. So yeah, I think it's pretty good. So basically, whenever you're adding spices of any kind to any of your dishes, you want to make sure that you toast them over sort of a low to moderate heat, just to make sure that everything gets beautifully toasted and it reawakens the spices, because essentially the spices are dried. So you just want to make sure that all those oils sort of come out again, and everything, yeah, comes alive in your pot. So So give this a good stir. Go. And then it's at this stage that I actually like to season with a bit of salt and pepper, just because I think that when you layer the seasoning, it sort of you can taste it inside the dish much more clearly. I can't even speak. Okay, so give it a stir, and you'll see some stuff is sticking at the bottom. Don't worry, we're going to deglaze just now with some coconut milk, and it will take off all those spices. So I mentioned before, and I encouraged you at the beginning to make sure that you host one of the Starfish Great Hearts Dinners of Hope for yourself, and invite your friends and cook with them and cook for them. Then you can all sort of contribute to the great work that they do. They support different places or organizations, over 15 if I'm not mistaken, throughout the country, which is really, really wonderful. And just giving people who have less a little bit, of hope and some encouragement, and feeding them, and just making sure that certain things are taken care of that we possibly take for granted, but they're doing the groundwork. So do your bit and host yourself a dinner, and maybe cook this. How about that? Cook this dish and see what your friends say. You can take all the credit. You don't have to tell them that you got it from me. How about that? Okay, so I said we're going to deglaze, and here we are. We're going to deglaze with this coconut milk. So this is just a tin of coconut milk. Buy it in the dry food section or dry store section of the supermarket. Very easy. Make sure that you shake the tin before you open it, because often, I've made that mistake many times, where I sort of open the tin and then all the cream, the solid cream, is at the top, and then it's like, oh no, it's all split. But it's not. Just give it a good stir, and if you just shake the can beforehand, that should be sufficient to make sure that everything mixes together. Okay, so then what we want to do here is make sure that this comes to a simmer. So I'm just going to pop a lid on for a few minutes and bring that to the boil. And while that happens, let me talk you through the mussels. For those people who don't generally cook with mussels, or are just afraid to cook with mussels, let me give you the lowdown. So here I am actually using pre-cooked frozen mussels, which is why they're open already. So if you're nervous about it, you can at the supermarket get them ready cooked, and then you know that they're safe, and all you have to do basically is reheat them in the broth. If you are using fresh mussels, there are a few rules. So fresh mussels should always be tightly closed. Okay, if you do find one that is open, if you pinch it, it should stay closed once you unpinch it again, and that's how you know that it's still fresh. The golden rule for mussels is once you cook them, if they are not open, discard them. Don't even risk it. Don't take any chances. Just discard them, throw them away, because more than likely that mussel was dead before you cooked it. So that's basically the rules. There really is nothing to be afraid of. Don't stress yourself. Mussels are delicious. You just have to be wary. And once it's if you get one on your plate that is closed, don't try to pry it open with like a fork or anything. Just let it go, like Elsa says. Okay, so once this is simmering, so this is simmering really nicely now. We've got a real good rolling boil here. Give it a good stir, and like I said, this is so simple. This was literally the main labor of things here, was getting this broth done, and all the chopping that happens before. So here I have, which I mentioned in the ingredients before, is chopped coriander, and this is the leaves and the stalks together. So you want a lot of coriander, because that's like the main flavor profile of this broth really. So I'm just going to add most of it and just leave a little bit just for the end. Because it's got the stalks in there, it's going to have lots of flavor. Now I know, and it's also going to change the color a little bit and give you those greens flecks, which is really lovely. If you were using fresh mussels, I would add them now and then pop the lid on and cook them a bit more. But because I'm using cooked ones, all I said, like I said, need to do is warm them through. So I'm not going to pop them in just yet. I'm just going to bring my sauce to the simmer and just let it simmer a little bit more. On the coriander front, now I know there are a lot of people who don't really enjoy coriander, and I actually read that it's a genetic thing. It's to do with the way that they they taste the flavor notes of coriander. So don't worry, if you don't like coriander, you don't have to use it. You could just use a bit of parsley would be wonderful in this as well, or the greens of spring onions would also be wonderful. It is a very different flavor, but it's still going to be a delicious flavor. Right, so we've got a rapid boil here. I'm going to go in with our mussels. Remember, these ones are cooked already, so all I need to do is warm them through in this broth. It already just looks so delicious. I mean, the smells are incredible already. And this would be so wonderful if you wanted to now add some rice noodles. So some soaked rice noodles would be fantastic in here. Even egg noodles would be great. You could serve this with a side of rice. I'm just going to pop the lid on. You could serve this with just some crusty bread. You could serve it as a soup, of course, like I'm going to do. So the options are really endless, and it's up to you. And it's such a versatile dish that you can change up in many ways. You could add red curry paste to this, and then it becomes a totally different flavor profile. You could add massaman curry paste to this, and then it's also a different profile. So you could change this in so many different ways, which is why I love this dish so much. And I am already drooling. I don't know about you. I wish you could smell this. And for those of you who are cooking along at home, I'm sure your house smells like a dream right about now. So all this is going to do is just go on for about 5 more minutes, and then we're going to be ready to serve. Just a few finishing touches, because where there's seafood there should always be a bit of lemon. So I'm going to add a squeeze of lemon at the end. I'm going to taste the sauce just for a bit of seasoning. Sometimes you'll find you'll need like a pinch of sugar just to balance it out, but only see after you add the lemon and see what the acidity factor is. Otherwise, that is it. That is going to be our delicious mussels. I can't wait to taste it. It's always my favorite part. Tasting the food is always my favorite part. I'm sure, as it is everyone else's favorite part. So just a reminder that we are all celebrating or just honoring the work that Starfish Great Hearts Foundation does, and sort of bringing to light their dinners of hope, and encouraging you to host your own dinner of hope, where you and your friends can, enjoy a meal together, cook a meal together, and donate to a really great cause, and even just having a conversation about, other people's situations and how you can do your part. Because for all of us, this year has been a very difficult year, filled with lots of, unknowns and scary times, but the truth is we all got through it, and a lot of us are more privileged than a lot of other people. So any bit that we can do to help somebody who needs it is always a good thing. And that's what's so wonderful about the Starfish Great Hearts Foundation, is that that's what they do. They help people who need a leg up, who need just a little bit of assistance to sort of get to the next milestone. So let's all do our part. Okay, lemon. Oh, smelling so delicious. I just cup my hand just to catch any pips from the lemon. It's like your human sieve. You don't have to fish them out. There we go. Those pips. Give it another good stir, and then I'm going to taste it. The mussels have absorbed all of that delicious coconut broth. So delicious. And like I said, anything to soak up all of these juices would be so fantastic. So let me give it a taste at this stage, just to make sure the seasoning's good. Oh, that's so good. I'm going to do a little bit more salt, and definitely another squeeze of lemon juice, because it's needed, because I love a bit of acidity with my seafood, no matter what it is. Good. Last bit. Give it another good stir, and that's it. It is ready to serve as you will and as you like it. This would be a really great starter for your dinner of hope. It would make a great main course, just an abundance of mussels. Just get lots of mussels. Actually, a combination of seafood would be really great in this. Some prawns, some fish, all cooked in this broth. Lots of crusty bread. Everybody will be really, really, really happy. Yeah, and that's it. That is my delicious, delicious curried coconut mussels. So simple to make, so delicious, and I hope that you will give it a try. Please do let me know if you do give it a try. I hope that you all really enjoy it. Thank you once again to the Starfish Great Hearts Foundation for having me today. It's been an absolute pleasure. I hope that you enjoyed cooking along with me. Once again, I hope that you guys have successful dinners of hope, that you all host yours, and I hope that my delicious mussels will feature in some of the dinners of hope. Thank you once again. I salute you, Starfish Great Hearts, for the amazing work that you do. Thank you for helping where it's needed. We appreciate you, especially now more than ever. We are so grateful for the amazing work that you do. Thank you once again for having me. I hope you enjoyed. Bye.